And he said, if I press this button, one of the best engineers in America will be in my office within 10 minutes. If I press this button, one of the best financial minds in the world will be in my office within 10 minutes. And he went through the 6 buttons and he said, my knowledge is knowing what I am great at and what I'm not great at, and finding the world's best possible people to underpin where I've not got strengths. And all too often we go into business and we believe that we've got to be the master of all areas of our business. I love the Jack Welch saying that if the change outside of your business is greater than the change inside of your business, then you're going out of business. And that's so obvious, and yet I think sometimes we hang on to tradition. It's safe to hang on and retrench to what we know, as opposed to saying, okay, if customers are changing, if the world is changing, if retail formats are changing, if high streets are changing, then maybe we should change. 38% of customers visited discounters not for cheap brands. They visited to get brands that they like cheaper. Don't you want to be in every area where your customers want to be? Coca-Cola talk about being within arm's length of desire. So they'll be in any location where their customers might stretch out their hand. Do you not want to be where your customers are? Active greys are a fantastic audience for you to target. When researched though, only 4% of the over 50s believed that ads targeted them. And yet when you connect with them, they are massively loyal, much more so than a millennial. Only 17% of customers believe companies take what they say seriously, but they will trust what their friends say, and they will act on what their friends say. So people do business with people they like. It's been that way since time began. It won't make a bad business good, but it will make a good business better. It's not really about the product. We get too caught up in the product. You know, I don't need to know what goes into building a BMW, how that engine's built, what it does to enjoy a BMW. There are chemical changes in our body, in our brain, and in the depth of resonance that we connect with and to a brand or experience if you can make people smile. And kind of we know that. We know that when we laugh at something, we remember that person, that brand, that experience more. We can always choose to think, and we can always choose to take any challenge and indulge ourselves in really understanding, but more often than not, we choose not to. We choose to just go with what we feel. And so if you can connect with customers in a way that they feel and connect emotionally, you change everything about your relationship with them. So historically, we thought that it was a case of we need to persuade them because people think, act, and then feel. But in reality, we need to engage emotionally because increasingly we're understanding through science that people feel, act, and then think. And if you don't connect in the first 2 stages, you're not really at a point where you can tell them your story. Too often we think this is the way it used to work, this is the way it's worked for hundreds of years, why does it need to be different? But it needs to be different because it is a different world. And the speed of change is really important. Everything is changing, and if you're not, then someone else is just going to overtake you doing it. True story, the way that Amazonian Indians capture monkeys, they get a terracotta pot or something bright and interesting that the monkey will be attracted to. They put nuts or food in there, and the opening is just big enough to capture the size of monkey they want, because they don't want the babies, they don't want to kill them off too early to eat them, but they make the opening big enough. Now, they'll put it in. As the monkey grabs those nuts, because of the fist clenching, it can't then get its hand out, but it doesn't want to let the food go. It's hanging on so desperately to what it needs and what it knows is food that's going to nourish it, that it won't let go. All too often, and it will lose its life because of it. They can just walk up to it and pull it off of that chain and pop. All too often in life, we will hang on to the last minute to what we know, that what we learnt, that what we believe was the case, or what we think academically, intellectually is the right answer, rather than just letting go sometimes and looking for the new compelling vision of what the future could be.